Good afternoon. My name is Charlie Baum, and we're going to continue our discussion of perfect competition by examining the long run. Let's consider a perfectly competitive market where the firms in the market are earning positive economic profits in the short run. The graph on the right reflects the cost structure for an individual firm, and the graph on the left reflects the market. The market equilibrium price is going to be where supply equals demand. In this example, that's at a price of $15. The individual firm in the perfectly competitive market will take that price as given. Firms in perfectly competitive markets are price takers, and the individual firm will produce that quantity where price from the market equals marginal cost. This is where price intersects the marginal cost curve. In this example, that's at a quantity of 10,000. The average total cost of producing 10,000 units, indicated by the average total cost curve, is less than price, so this firm is earning money on each unit that it produces. The amount of economic profit that this firm earns is the profit margin multiplied by all the units on which the profit margin is earned. The profit margin is the difference in price and average total cost, and that profit margin is earned on all the units produced. As a result of these positive economic profits in the short run, when we get to the long run, new firms are going to enter the industry. Their motivation for entering the industry is to get some of these positive economic profits. As new firms enter the industry to get the profits, this will shift the supply curve in the market to the right. As the supply curve shifts to the right, the new equilibrium price will fall. New firms will continue to enter the industry as long as there continue to be positive economic profits. This stops when there's no more positive economic profits. In the diagram on the left, you see where the market supply curve has shifted so far to the right that the market price is now $10. And at a price of $10, the individual firms will produce a quantity represented by 8,000. This is where the new, lower $10 price intersects the marginal cost curve. But you'll notice that at this price, the market price is equal to the average total cost of production. As a result, the firms in this industry are going to be breaking even. No more positive economic profits. This means that our perfectly competitive industry is now at a long-run equilibrium. It's at an equilibrium because there's no more incentive for new firms to enter the industry because economic profits equal zero. The firms are breaking even. With no more entry, the market price will face no more pressure to change. Now let's look at an example of a perfectly competitive industry that is initially at a long-run equilibrium. This is where the market price is $10, where the market supply curve intersects the market demand curve, and the individual firm is producing where price equals marginal cost. That's where price intersects the marginal cost curve. That occurs at a quantity of 8,000. Economic profits equal zero because price equals the average total cost of production. Now let's suppose the demand curve in the market shifts to the left. Let's suppose that demand in the market decreases. As a result, the new equilibrium price in the market is only going to be $7. So the individual firms will maximize profits by producing where price equals marginal cost. This is at a lower quantity, and it's going to occur at a quantity where the firm is incurring losses because the average total cost of producing this quantity is going to be greater than the price level. So the individual firm in this market is going to be incurring a loss. You see that here. The firm is again maximizing profits by producing where price equals marginal cost. The loss is equal to the pink box. That is the amount of the loss per unit multiplied by all the units on which the loss is earned. This would be a short run equilibrium, but as we move to the long run, this will prompt firms to exit the industry. Firms will exit the industry in order to avoid incurring these losses. When firms exit the industry, this will shift the market supply curve to the left. As firms exit the industry, market supply is decreased, and that will begin to put upward pressure on the price level. Firms will continue to exit the industry as long as they are earning negative economic profits. As long as firms are incurring a loss, we'll be at a long run equilibrium when there's no more incentive for firms to exit, when there's no more incentive for the market price to increase, and this occurs when we're again at a point in the long run where price equals the average total cost of production. So we see in this example how the demand curve initially moved to the left. This resulted in the supply curve shifting to the left. The supply curve continued to shift to the left as firms exited the industry as long as there were losses. Firms stopped exiting the industry and the market price stopped increasing once individual firms returned to a point of breaking even. This occurs at a price of $10 and individual firms are producing 8,000 units of output. This suggests that we are at a long run equilibrium when price equals the minimum point on the average total cost curve. Demand can shift to the left, as it did in this example, or it can shift to the right. As we move to a long run equilibrium, supply will have to adjust accordingly so that in the long run equilibrium, price will equal the minimum point on the average total cost curve. This shows us that the long run supply curve in the market is going to be this red line here. It's going to be a supply curve that represents the price at which firms produce at minimum average total cost. So to summarize, we are not at a long run equilibrium as long as firms are either exiting the industry to avoid losses or entering the industry to get economic profits. We are at a long run equilibrium when the entry and exit of firms has stopped, and that will stop when firms in the industry are breaking even. So a long-run competitive equilibrium is the situation in which the entry and exit of firms has resulted in the typical firm breaking even. When there's no more firms entering or exiting the industry, this is when price is equal to the minimum point on the average total cost curve. So we know that when we're in a long-run equilibrium, firms must be breaking even so that there's no more entry and exit of firms, and this can only occur when price equals the minimum point on the average total cost curve. As a result, the long-run supply curve is going to be a horizontal line equal to that price at which average costs in the long run are minimized.